All right, everybody. Welcome to Jiarui's dissertation defense. I've been waiting for this day for so long, so you can tell how excited I am right now to introduce Jiarui. Jiarui graduated from Beijing Normal University in China, and then he went to Washington University in St. Louis for his master's degree. That's where I met him. And then I brought him all the way from WashU to here at UVA. So we began this project developing the deep learning networks to analyze cardiac images about 5 years ago. And that's where I started my collaboration with Dr. Fred Epstein and also two other clinical collaborators at School of Medicine at UVA. So at that time, I'd say that neither of us actually had a lot of experiences with cardiac images. But I was very impressed that Jiarui studied the cardiac physiology and diseases, and also a lot about, cardiac MR images by himself. Especially, I want to note that during his about 5 years study here, 3 out of 5 was during very challenging, difficult time. That's where the global pandemic started. So, but he didn't stop. He carried on with all this project, and he had a really, really nice research outcome you will see from his presentation today. And all his research outcome actually served as preliminary results for my first NIH grant. I'm so thankful for that. And I also want to highlight that we had so many difficulties and obstacles trying to deliver a machine learning, deep learning, to the real world applications in the clinical setting. I would really admit that part. But Jiarui never gave up, and he just kept going. Doesn't matter how many frustrations we had, and doesn't matter how much challenges we had, he just kept going. And of course that, I wish him all the best in his future academic career. And to share a good news that Jiarui already got a postdoc offer from Yale to continue to developing machine learning in the healthcare domain. So I think that's the best news for me. So now I will hand it over to Jiarui. Let's enjoy his talk.
Yeah. Thanks for the great talk and great introduction. I'm super excited to introduce my PhD work. The diffusion network with okay. So as you see cardiacs we're dealing with heart and heart failure. So heart failure is a prevalent and costly health condition. It's according to the statistics from CDC. So there are 6 million US adults over 20 years old has heart failure. And in the year of 2020, there's 13.9% of people death is caused by heart failure, and it costs $30.7 billion in a single year of 2012. And so, unfortunately, we have the cardiac resynchronization therapy, or CRT, to treat heart failure, which works by puts the pacing leads cardiac and the heart muscle. Stimulates the cardiac to let them synchronize contraction. And as you can see, when I say synchronization is going to treat some disease like resynchronization or arrhythmia. So, and the problem is that the standard CRT has a quite high non-response rate, about 40%, which means that if you apply standard CRT, about 40% in CRT treatments has no significant effect. So it kind of doesn't work. And recent research found out that optimal pacing site selection is one key to improve the CRT response rate. Which means that you need to space site location on the myocardium to say, hey, where do I want to put the electronic leads? And there are two particular regions we care about. One is the region with delayed activation, which starts contraction later than other regions. And one is a scar region, one avoids them because they are damaged or even dead tissue, and stimulating them would have very little effect. And so the task, as you can imagine, we're trying to find this using algorithm to find these regions, right? How do we do that? How do we identify these regions? So And recent studies show that they can be identified from cardiac string or another way to represent cardiac motion. And so let's first kind of look at motion, see how it actually looks like. So here's kind of motion of the myocardium kind of taking slice in the short axis view, and kind of you can see it's moving inwards, all the region moving at the same time and expanding same time, relaxation in sync, right? So that's from Harris volunteer. But for a patient with latent mechanical activation or delayed activation, sorry, as a terminology for that. So you can see this, the lower part kind of start contraction much later than the other regions, which then is why we call it delayed activation. So it still activates, but just way later than other regions. And so other than the motion can show that, but other than using motion, doctors are more typically use myocardium string, which is the relative deformation of the heart, like so. And here I kind of the video of string, and you can see color means the contraction or stretching or relaxation. You can see in the kind of contracting start frame, all the myocardium shows blue, which means but if we go to the elderly patient case, you can see, and the lower region is just one region is blue and start contraction. This region shows kind of greenish, means and have very tiny movements, motions here. And this, so as I mentioned, if we put CRT pacing lead and then region, then can the maximum effect of CRT. Right. So here comes our research goal. So we want to develop deep neural networks for accurate motion tracking from images. Particularly, it is from Xing CMR images, which which refers to the Xing cardiac magnetic resonance images, because you can see that it has high image quality and is clinically widely collected, so it's easy to access. And based on the motion, we want to do automatically string-based prediction to detect the delayed activation region. And so this result would be used to optimize the CRT pacing lead site selection and improving heart failure treatment. And so we talk about we want to detect motion from CMR images, but there's one more modality, advanced modality I will mention, which is I'll explain. So here's the CMR plus filter tracking I just mentioned. So this is kind of routinely standard way to collect motion from the cardiac images. But you can see it has a drawback of it has limited accuracy in the low contrast regions. For example, the myocardium where the motion happens, right? So it has limited accuracy. And so we have alternative very advanced modality is the dense, this means encoding via simulated echoes image, which directly gives you high quality information from the scanning. So but the problem is we're very fortunate to have the great data from our collaborator, Dr. Brad Epstein and Dr. Jiarui, to provide this precise data. But the problem of this thing is that it's expensive. Expensive facilities need extended scanning time and especially specialized knowledge to analyze data. So clinically, it's hard to get, right? So what we're thinking is that we want to improve the motion tracking accuracy with this great precious guidance from DENS, but we try to now to charge them in the influence stage. So with this kind of overall three goals and this particular modality in your mind, here I pose three works, which is supervised latent diffusion modeling for accurate motion tracking. How do we get motion? And the multi-task learning framework for string analysis with limited training data. How do we predict the big delayed activity region, particularly with limited number of training data? And the multimodal framework for even improve string-based prediction accuracy to improve the delayed activity prediction. So let's go to the first thrust. So this kind of legal standard method we talk about this limitation has limited accuracy. We talk about dense limit, which is great accuracy, but has expensive. It's hard to calculate. Here are existing and try to kind of merge the two, get benefit from the two by training a deep neural network and to detect motion from CMR and use dense data as supervision. So learn to get help from dense. So indeed, this gets improved accuracy over visual tracking approach, but it still has limited accuracy, and the reason is that it only uses intensity features from images. It does not treat this particularly focused on the motion feature. And to deal with the issue, to address this issue and further improve the accuracy, we propose the latent diffusion model, the Lamont, which predicts accurate myocardial motion from standard CMR image videos based on the underlying motion features, and with the supervision from DANCE. So compared with others, here we have one more step to motion feature tracking network to track the latent motion features. So the motion reconstruction network now knows, okay, I should only treat with motion features. I work on motion. I don't work on any fancy random things. And kind of that's the core idea of this approach. So, and go to the technical details. So we have two steps. The first step is to pre-train resynchronization network, which capture motion from kind of initialize the latent motion features on network. And so this is, if you know, this is kind of a typical way we train the image registration, which we detect the deformation from rings of the CMR images without any ground truth supervision. And so it has the encoder and decoder. So once the model is trained, the encoder is used and motion tracking network to it tracks latent motion features and then pass through the motion reconstruction network. And that to pre-train the registration network as a motion instructor, latent motion feature. And then we're passing this latent motion feature through the powerful diffusion model, which is well known today. That's how we have this that is very really things for high quality images or images. So it has this that it has kind of a forward depth and back. It adds the noise latent and in the backward process, we're kind of trying to have this denoising network to remove noise or to restore the from the noisy version. Following this equation. So initially we're kind of adding variability in the latent space and boost the performance. And after the forward and backward process, it's the noise latent motion feature is passed to a motion decoder and to extract the parameters. And then it's sorry, I forgot the ground truth here is it has guided by the ground truth of dense diffusion field to kind of to improve the whole generation counting dynamics. So of course, then it has two loss functions. One is a kind of standard diffusion loss, which measures how good the noise is, and there is a motion supervision loss, measures the distance between the reconstructed spin field and the dense ground truth spin field. And the total loss is weighted sum of the two loss functions. And so yeah, that's the whole structure of this particular amount. So let's look at some results. Let's first look at the quantitative visualization. So here we have the ground truth motion and kind of zoom in highlighted region, and we have the process. You can see, and this highlighted region is moving outward, but we will stretching. Actually, that's the latent activation region. And here's one baseline. You can see it's too kind of biased to healthy cases. It's kind of almost predicting the opposite. It's moving inwards. And we have two other baselines which kind of got the idea of abnormality, but still doesn't get really correct prediction. And in comparison, our model makes almost very much better prediction is in this region, and you can also tell from the string. Yeah. So we have for the cognitive evaluation, we got 3 evaluations, and because we can use, we have 2 modalities, right? So we can use either dense or thin as input. So we kind of testing the accuracy in either the case, in both cases. So first we compute the kind of pixel-wise displacement field error, which is the elements points point error. So you can see our model has much more accurate displacement field compared with baseline approaches. And then following the clinical convention, because clinically doctors use kind of device treat with different myocardial, different heart, different size and different kind of resolution to make them to align to merge the gap between them. So doctor use the device myocardium is drained into several regions and computes average string in that region and compares the average segmental string. That's what we have here. So and again, our method has much better accuracy compared with the baselines. And lastly, is the most important, using the standard CMR as input, which is really what matters in the clinical case, right? And similarly, we are computing the segmental string error. And here we have new feature tracking baseline, which is based on a commercially widely used software that only works on CNE data, so we don't have them in the first two examples. And again, the conclusion here, more method has much better accuracy compared to baselines. Yes. So here's a quick conclusion. In this work, we use the MODS, which a novel latent diffusion model for motion detection. It achieves high accuracy to capturing the myocardial motion by leveraging the underlying motion features, because it's a powerful latent diffusion model and guidance from the highly accurate dense CMRs. And the accessibility is guaranteed as only routinely collected CMRs are required in the clinical application. Dense is only used for training. And yeah, so this is our first work. How do we capture the motion from accurate motion from myocardium? And then once we have the motion, our next topic, next text is we have the motion and how do we detect the delayed activation regions? And then the second work we're going to propose, which is multi-task learning framework for automatic string analysis with particularly limited training. So let's first look at the current existing method and whether it has limited accuracy. So this is a kind of 3D activation map that visualize the activation time along the myocardium. So the region with the green right has the high activation time, which means it's activated later than other regions, and therefore is the delayed activation region. And so yeah, or the term is LM latent mechanical. And so this is a kind of the ground truth labeled by our experts, and this is a kind of the prediction from the existing method, which you can see is very incorrect result, right? So to deal with this problem, so our goal here is that we want to develop a string-based delayed activation prediction model that is highly accurate. This thing is just not used. Right? It's just a very misleading, very wrong. And in the same time, the baseline is kind of based on active control. If you know that for active control based method, you need to tune for smooth hyperparameter, smoothness weights. Then which means that for each new data, you need to tune the parameter to get a better result. Why is that? To make it, we want our model to be followed automatically without need for data-wise parameter tuning. And particularly because we cannot, so sometimes the accurate motion data is not available. So we need to make our model to be generalizable to generalize to those cases. We want our model to be able to train with limited number of training data. Yeah, so here's more detailed contribution of our proposed automatic string analysis network. We improve it with multi-task learning strategy without querying and additional data with the downstream tests of latent mechanical activation detection. And here's kind of pipeline thing. We have string, we have network, and we have the activity. And before I dive into technical details of what the network is, we have something I never introduced before, right? So this is this string matrix is highly compact spatial temporal representation of the string, and I will quickly explain what it means and how it's used in normal. So string matrix basically here is a kind of string image sequence, right? You have a frame of myocardial string showing you contraction or contraction, and for each segment or sector I mentioned before, it's like a part of the myocardium. So you can see for the normal sector, it should be goes contraction showing blue and relaxation going yellow or red. For the latent mechanical activity region, it goes pre-stretching, it will stretch. It shows some abnormal yellow in the first frames, and then it goes to contraction. And that's how kind of just a different way to show what is the latent mechanical activation. If we do all of this to every column, every sector on the myocardium, because we build this beautiful string matrix where the x-axis is time and y-axis sector or different location on the myocardium. And we can, for each of the region, we can identify a TOS curve, which means the time of onset of sequential shortening term, which quantifies activation time. So the rows or sectors with larger TOS is with more severe delayed activation and is the LMAG. And visually, if we overlap the TOS curve on the matrix, it passing through yellowish. Then how do we, because this has much more of the, it's highly kind of easy to interpret, it's easy for any dimensionality, so it's kind of perfect data for training more deep learning model. So based on this extreme issue, we have applied a net-based deep convolutional neural network to make QS prediction, where the QS prediction ground truth is labeled by our expert. And suddenly by comparing the QS prediction, we can do this beautiful 3D action map. And we can tell this is the LMA region. So the loss function of Zen is the weighted sum of the supervision QS estimation error between the ground truth vector and the model estimated QS curve with the model decay, and here is L2 decay. Yeah. So this is actually this is the first work in this field. So it achieves much better results compared with baseline active control-based data. But we later found that it still has limited accuracy. For example, and here's one example. This is the manually labeled data, so we have map. So again, the red region is the region with the activity region. This is a kind of active control-based methods. This is or just mentioned deep learning based very first deep learning based method because it gets much better result, but in this case, still got a very big in the middle region, right? Which is the middle anterior lateral region. So yeah, so the take-home message here is that it still have limited accuracy. So we are thinking of how can we improve the accuracy, and in the case we at the time we have very lot of data to train the model, and our answer is the multi-task learning framework. So here it's not we're not there yet. So this is kind of same model as before. We have kind of convolutional layers and we have two. What is new than in the multi-task framework? We have a auxiliary task, which is classification of the element region. So the QS curve is try to predict the acquisition time, which is a continuous value along the Myocardial, which time it starts contraction. But the classification is try to classify which region is or is not a activation region. So we have two tasks, and so we have two corresponding loss term, which are TOS regression loss and a additional LME. And total loss is really sum of the two loss functions. So the idea behind that is that by adding this MLMA classification and accuracy classification task, we're encouraging the shared subnetwork, which is against networks, capture the additional regional part, or in other words, we are trying to force the network to don't focus on the particular region or value. Say you like 1 millisecond wrong or millisecond correct. You should very important. You should not make the non-ML region to be a non-ML region. I mean, regional part. So, and we are highlighting the regional classification task by introducing this ML classification loss. And here are some external results. So here's the kind of string MSF mean square error between all the methods. Regression network, which is the first network we post, and this is the non-test learning. So yeah, you can see that our method has much lower error. We have the 3D action map validation, same data, and this is our prediction. Right? As you compare with the bottom baseline, we have just checked. Our method has way better accuracy compared with the baselines. And if you look at the string curve prediction, that's actually the you can see, yeah, our method has much higher accuracy. This curve is the curve is ground truth and ground curve is the prediction. You can see our prediction is much closer to the ground truth compared with baseline, and it's true in the second case. Yeah. So in this work, we propose a novel multi-task learning for improved performance for latent mechanical activation detection. Our method incorporates an auxiliary task and effectively ensures network captures the complete pattern, or actually it should be the regional pattern, or the delay activation region. So this approach benefits from highly accessibility because no additional data or label is required. We're just add a more task, and we have this label can be directly generated from this label. At threshold to say if you have like activation time greater than some time, then it's LME region or it's not. So no additional data is used in this process, and we got better results. Okay, so this is second work where how do we automatic string-based delay activation prediction test and how to even improve it without limited number of data. And then we're further pushing the performance by introducing this multimodal framework for improved string-based prediction accuracy. So yeah, I just said we're working at great performance, but now I'm going to criticize it. So this is a kind of another ground truth labeled 3D action, right? You can see there's a large M region in the middle. And this is the previous prediction of the previous MTL prediction. MTL model, multitest model. So, and we're wondering why this happens and how can we improve it? So we found out, you can see there's a big mistake in this region. We're thinking of how can we improve it. And we found out that this is because of myocardial scarring, if you remember, about the dead or damage or dead tissue on the scar. You can see that the mistake region is exactly the scar region. Or another way to put it is that the scar, this part showing kind of each is misleading network and gives the wrong prediction. And here's why this would be the case. So here's one kind of example of the string matrix where it shows the string along the myocardial. You can see this is the ML region stretching the first string, and then it shows blue with contracting it. But this part is not. You can see it has the kind of stretch in the first string, no blue in the which means it's not the LME region, and we are sure we check with expertise, it's scar region, the damage or dead tissue. But because you are sharing the pattern of having the kind of yellowish in the first frames, it's computing network to make wrong prediction. For example, this is ground truth, and this is a prediction for learning network. And thankfully, we can detect the scar region from the LG or the late gadolinium enhancement CMR modality. And if you look at the case, so this part is the myocardium, the part muscle, and the normal heart would show dark in the emerging region, but the scar region will show white because it's damaged. So yeah, so okay, so the message here is that we can, so scar is misleading us, and we have this great modality, we can detect scar. So we just build a multimodal network, right? To use both of the string information and the MG image to get scar, and that's done, right? So why bother here? So the problem we found that this is how typical multimodal learning works, right? You have the string as input, you have the LG image as input, and you make final data activation prediction. But we want to make it as similar as a motion tracking case. We want to make it more accessible. We want it to be more accessible in the clinical case where no LG is used in the inference time. And we're trying to figure out how can we achieve this? How can we inform the network about the scar information? And for that, we really need LG, but how do we avoid recurring that in the clinical case? Right. So therefore we propose this work propose the square where LME detection network and prevents LME localization in the scar region with flexibility to operate with or without LG data. So yeah, so here I'll go through both methods. Let's scar aware LME detection. So this is just the same LME detection network as before. So this could be the kind of workforce. You have similar video, you have string matrix, and you have 2x prediction network. It could be either the first deep learning one or the multitask learning one, and it predicts 2s, right? So it's a 2s data mechanical activation detection, and we have network to detect scar region from the LG images. This is the scar segmentation, right? So that's typically how people get the scar information. And this is what's the key of our network. What happens? We want to when computing loss, we want to incorporate the prediction of scar vectors, which represents which region of the scar along the Myocardial scar with the 2S prediction. Particularly, it works by we use this kind of loss function. So besides the kind of the same loss function between the quantum 2S prediction 2S as before, we have the additional term which is we want to supervise the norm of the activation time is a non-LMA region in the scar region, which analyze the false positive prediction in the scar region. And easily word so we are discouraging model. So if you make any mistake, there's scar region and you think there's delay activation, we just penalize. Right, that's ideal. And in the training time, the LG information is not always required because if we don't have the scar, we don't have the region of where the scar is. We just remove the second part, and then this comes back to what we have in the previous multi-test learning and learning-based 2S prediction network. So this is more we just train without knowing it has scar or not, but it still trains. And more importantly, in the test time, this part is not required at all, right? Because the scar information is only used for training the loss, so compute the loss function and training the model. So it's not LG scan is not required in the inference time. And one particular thing I want to mention is that this work we have used work proposed that scar segmentation work proposed in the 2023 SPE conference. And here I have to say special thanks to our collaborator, Dr. Amit Patel, to provide a lot of valuable LG data to enable us to train the model and down these experiments. So so here are the experiment results. So we have the first we have realization. You can see this is ground truth. LG delay activation region in the middle. We have the baseline, which is missing by the scar, and we have more newly proposed scar-aware network, which is actually surprising to me. How does it do so good? Very good. It's no misleading at all. Even in test case, we do not fit in the scar information. And we have some 2S curve checking case. You can see in the middle part this is scar region, right? Because you didn't see any very weak contraction in the frames. And the baseline method one is missing by most methods. The red dash curve is making perfect prediction. We have more examples and deliver symmetric, right? But here the scar region is missing baseline and missing the base. Right, so all methods gives much better result in all of these cases. And for quantitative evaluation, so this is kind of scar. So we have there are two cases: scar, the error on the cases with scar, and all cases with and without scar. So only evaluated on the cases with scar, which the baseline model will be misleaded out. You can see our method achieves much better accuracy, lower error compared with baseline. And on the all cases, because on the cases without scar, gap is not so different because there's no misleading factors there, but still our method is getting better results. Right, so here's a quick conclusion of this scar-aware LMA detection network. So in this work, we present a novel scar-aware LMA detection network, which integrates current scar information from the LG scans. It achieves improved accuracy and robustness because it's not misleading by the scar region. The accessibility is enhanced due to the flexibility to operate with or without LG data. So actually, the accessibility is both in training and testing. In training time, if we don't have scar data, we don't have LG data, we don't have scar data, then the loss function becomes kind of a previously proposed 2S prediction error. And in the test time, LG is not needed because LG is only used for the dot. So here we have the three main threads of my work: how to detect movement using the supervised latent diffusion model, how to make the string-based late activation prediction test to be automatic and further improve it rapidly. And finally, we will deal with the misleading parts from my current scar. We're proposed the multimodal framework to further improve the string-based late activation prediction accuracy. And we have a lot more works in the whole load, but due to time limit, I cannot do that. So we have both the joint string generation and detection network by jointly performing tests of motion detection and element detection. And we have, this is what I mentioned, we have proposed the element detection, scar segmentation network that utilizes the relationship between the myocardium and scar region and massive capacity module to further enhance the scar, to get the state-of-the-art scar segmentation performance. And for the future works, so we still found some limitation for extended works, which first is to how do we improve? Let's say, go from problem first. So in all our previous experiments or settings, we have data from a lot of eight clinical sites, and we are training using all of data from our sites and testing from using data from our sites. So there's training and test solution, but data from kind of mixture of the all sites. And we have the accuracy as which is we call reference, and we have the second string error as reference. And later we test performance. What if we train on the data except one left out one side? For example, we just train without any data from Emory, and we test data from only on data from Emory University, and what happened? And we found out that there's a quite significant performance drop if we just have this have different training and testing sites, which is often referred to a domain gap problem. And so this for the Emory case, and we can do things for Glasgow University, Kentucky, and also Italy. And so we have different number of amount of gap, but the conclusion is the same. So there's domain gap between the training and testing units, and we need to figure out how to address this issue. So our idea is that we want to improve generalizability of domain adaptation problem through latent motion feature alignment, which means that the idea is that we want to make the latent motion feature from different sites to be similar, to have similar distributions. It could be using simply as a QR dimensions to analyze the difference, distribution difference, or use a several network with to align the features. So that's the first problem of how do we improve the generalizability. And your second issue is that, so here is that kind of ground truth motion from dense data. This kind of radical components pointing contractional relaxation, right? Pointing through to the center, and this tangential or rotation component. You see, for this particular case, there's very little rotation in the upper. But here is a prediction from the word amount. The radical component is accurate, right? It's correct result. But for the problem, you can see there's a kind of error in this region. Usually is a tangent component or rotation component, which partly is because it's not sorry, because it's not trained to focus on the region. So to deal with this problem, we're thinking of adding an additional network to really say predicting the tangent component of the discrete field of all the components, and combine the tangent component prediction with the whole prediction to further improve the prediction at this region. Yeah, so that's the two future works we can work on to further improve our method. And that's pretty much of what I have done in the 5 years. And I want to say thank you to a lot of people. First, thank my committee members, Dr. Brad Acting, Dr. Scott Acting, Dr. Yang Feng. So they sent me a lot of instructions and helped me a lot in the process. And yeah, especially Dr. Brad shared us with some previous data sets so I can do this of the research. And I want to thank my collaborators, Dr. Ken Bielchi, Dr. Hell, Dr. Shu Wang, Dr. Sona Balmi, so who helped me a lot in all the projects and to put it let me work out smoothly. And want to thank my lab mates, Dr. Jian Wang, or senior labs, Dongmo Xing, Lisa, and Shakur Dell, and my friends, Jia Shaohang, Yuan Tang, Hao Yima, Jie Wang, Peter Spears, Mars Sang, introducing Jiarui and Xing. So thanks for all of my academics and friends. I cannot make this without your support. And particular thanks for parents. So yeah, this summer I had a great chance to go back to China and visit my friend after 4 years because of the pandemic and my visa issue. And yeah, without their support, I cannot make this. And yeah, it's a special day. And a great thanks to my advisor, Dr. Zhang. It is really special thanks. It's special. So yeah, I don't know how to explain my thanks, but yeah, thank you so much in the whole journey to support me and guide me to I learned a lot from you. Yeah, and I have this applications in yeah. That's my presentation. Thanks everybody.